All right,
Of
first,
course.
the big one, when will these payments start rolling out?
Possibly as early as late next week, more likely sometime between late next week and the end of the month.
All right, so this question right here coming to us from a viewer. If I receive disability benefits, will the funds go directly into my account?
Interesting question, and I say that because there's been nothing consistent amongst all these stimulus payments since last year, Sheba, as you and I have both covered since last year. So the short answer is if you have received a previous stimulus payment via direct deposit from the IRS, then most likely that's how it's going to come, whether you're on disability or otherwise. If you have had issues getting direct deposit before, or if the IRS does not have a bank account on file for a previous year's return, where they issued you a refund to that account, then most likely you're not going to expect a direct deposit of the stimulus payment coming up.
Another question from a viewer on social media. Many people have not received their second stimulus payment. Now there's a third. How can we make sure we get both stimulus payments?
Yeah, this gets interesting because if you have not received the second stimulus payment, the $600 one that was issued and approved at the end of December of 2020, that one is going to reconcile on your 2020 tax return, meaning that you have to file your 2020 return, and when you do, it will be refunded to you in the form of a tax credit. Now, this new one here that's coming up in 2021, that's not going to appear anywhere on your 2020 tax return. You're just going to have to wait for that, and hopefully things will work out a little more smoothly this time around, and people across the country get their stimulus payments versus some of the issues that we've seen in the past.
What about for folks who've just had a dramatic decrease in pay, folks who are just not working, right? Is it too late for them to file their taxes and then become eligible for this third stimulus payment?
Sure. So, Shiva, here's what's going on. Similar to what we had last year during tax season when the CARES Act passed, we're in the middle of tax season. This just passed. There's a lot of parts of the bill that I believe is going to force the IRS to extend the tax deadline, which is not necessarily a bad thing. It'll give people a chance to file their tax return without rushing to file a return just to get a stimulus payment because you need the money. So at this point in time, some individuals will receive a stimulus check based on their 19 return that's already on file. Mm-hmm. Others will receive it based on their 20 return. You got to be kind of, careful as to if you're rushing to file, because if you could qualify based on your 19 return, perhaps you had a better year in 20, then you may want to hold off on 20. If you've had a worse year in 20 that'll get you the stimulus, then you may want to file. The problem is that if the IRS begins to process payments late next week or the week after, and you file now and they haven't processed your 2020 return, then you're back to square one where you're not going to receive that stimulus payment possibly, or it may be delayed. So I expect to see some challenges again, as we've seen in round one and round two.
All right, that all makes sense. But you never know. You never know. You could send it in today and they could use that, the 2020 tax return.
You don't know. So yeah, if you foresee that 2020 is your best option to get a stimulus payment, then go ahead and prepare to file sooner than later. But then again, I'm just expecting that there's nothing that's gone smoothly, so I'm not expecting anything to go smoothly. This time around, I'm hoping that it will, but of course, I'm cautiously optimistic.
All right, Andrew Poulos, our financial expert, we appreciate your time.